Hello friends, and welcome to my customs rack guide. We're over here in the trailer park behind Big Red, next to the shipping containers, and basically for the first spot, run over here to the staircase, turn around, jump onto the blue container, turn around again, jump onto the railing, and from there you can shoot over the house. I haven't used this spot that often, but it is a spot to check out. You can get on top of that roof, but I don't recommend that just because you'll be fairly exposed. The next spot that I go to is over here at the shipping containers. There's a lot of spots that you can jump up from to get on top of these shipping containers, but that's the one I chose. You're pretty exposed, so I don't do this too often, but it is pretty decent early wipe. If you run all the way to the back left corner by Crossroads, that's actually where my favorite spot is. You see a lot of people coming this way towards extract because they don't want to be out there on the open road. So you can just kind of sit here, shoot in that red container, shoot at Crossroads, but you can get shot from Big Red, so again, keep that in mind. Inside of Big Red, you can get on top of this knocked over shelf. Everyone kind of knows this one, but what a lot of people don't know is if you have enough strength level, you can actually jump onto the second shelf, and then you can get onto that little like rail that's by the wall and walk down it to kind of get a better vantage point. Kind of a spot to keep in mind, but it's not that useful. Next, we run over here to the train. From the train, we run over here to the forklift. At the forklift, there's a box that you can hop onto, which then allows you to hop onto another box, which then allows you to hop on top of the train. This one is useful for if you ever hear gunshots over towards like Ruoff, then you have a pretty good vantage spot, where you can also kind of fall back easily and hide. If you jump on top of the roof, you can actually jump onto this little wall over here. I don't make it in the video, but if you make it, basically you're just going to take it and run towards the cinder block that's towards the main bridge. What a lot of people do is they like to take the shortcut here next to the cinder block, in case you didn't know, is right here. And basically, once they walk through it, you just shoot them in the back. It's a pretty easy spot. No one ever really looks up in this game, so it's basically free loot. Now, we go to my second favorite spot, which is over by Junk Bridge. From here, we overlook the scav boat extract. Everyone kind of knows that you can get underneath the main bridge instead of here on this hill on both sides. I don't like it because you're fairly exposed. Instead, I come here to this boat, I crouch, I lean left with Alt E, or Alt Q I mean,
the oldie,
and then I can see scav boat. If you have an actual scope, that grass unrenders and you can see it clear as day. Just make sure if you go to shoot at someone you want to crouch, otherwise you're just going to shoot the dirt in front of you and the person's just going to run away. Now then I basically just kind of wrapped underneath the bridge and kept going towards Ruoff to where we can get on top of these two pipes. What's cool about these two pipes is that if you die standing in the exact spot that I do, your body will fall into the water and you will be unlootable. It's kind of a scum spot because you can kill anyone and get free loot, but if they kill you, they don't get your loot. But that's the whole point of ratting, so I guess it's still a spot to keep in mind. I myself prefer to go over here towards Ruoff, where I can go underneath this second pipe, and then I can actually walk in between both of them towards this little ramp. This allows me to see over towards the main bridge area, while also still being kind of covered. I can see more than just main bridge though, I can see a little bit of everywhere around me. With Ruoff being here, most people go Ruoff now, but if they don't, you got an easy kill. If they get rid of Ruoff, definitely keep this one in mind. The next spot that I go to is here at Crack House. Next to the light pole, there's a little wire that comes off to a little box, and you can jump on top of that box. You can actually get on the very tip top where the red is. I don't do it in this video, but you can do it. Basically, jump up here, then you can jump up onto the second part. I didn't do it, of course. Instead, I stood here on the very first one and used it for cover. I kind of prefer to get up higher just because it gives me a better vantage point. Now then, the next spot I go to is still over here by the garage, still over at Crack House. Basically, you can jump up onto this blue fence from that pile of trash, and then onto this. Not a good spot, but it's okay. Good for anti-ratting. Then, you can jump up here on this blue fence next to the porta pots, and then onto that blue container. I don't like this one as much, but you can shoot between the red and green container over at the door towards Crack House, so maybe a decent little spot to keep in mind, especially if you run leg meta. Now we go to my favorite spot. This is where I normally run with my duo. My duo likes to sit here in this corner that I'm going to. From that corner, he can see all around him, including down that alley, which makes it really good for him calling out for whenever I'm sitting in my spot. I go to my spot after this, but I think it's well known to be good to hear that you can hear down that alley, and he can hear behind him, whereas in the spot that I sit in, I can see down the alley and hear the tin cans. As you saw, you can see a hole in the wall. which a lot of people take, surprisingly, and it's super easy kills. Another spot that you can go to from my spot is you can run over, jump onto what I like to call pyramids, which is these stone barricades, and then you can jump on top of those city cans if you'd like. Really loud, you're going to be really easy to shoot. I wouldn't recommend hopping up there, but still something to keep in mind when shit hits the fan. I showed you the ice cream shack there at the dorms. Don't like that one as much. I think you need max strength for it. I don't have it yet, so there's that. Now, over at Old Gas, jump onto the wall, run over here, jump onto the stone barricade, jump over the door, head over to the other barricade, and then you can drop down right behind that barricade and sit there and shoot at anyone. I haven't ran this one too much, but I feel like it's still a pretty good spot, so I included it in the video. If you actually walk along the wall, though, towards the border wall, you can actually walk on the border wall, and that gives you a pretty decent vantage spot. You can't go super far on it, you can only go until about the third knuckle, but I mean that's more than enough to get a couple people up here and just shoot at anyone that comes along. Now then, I haven't tried it, but I'm assuming it's a pretty decent spot. After that, we end up heading over to the fortress, where I have two spots. Not the best, but they are something to keep in mind. Everyone kind of camps med room. They're on top of the shelf next to the jackets. Everyone checks that though, so I think the other option, come to this other med room, jump up here onto the bunk bed. Kind of the same situation where you can be shot from the outside, kind of trash spot, but if no one checks it, pretty decent little spot. Second spot I go to is this weird little jump spot to get on top of an excavator. I like it a little bit because you're a little bit covered from just the shape of the excavator, but I haven't really tried it out all that much, so let me know if you get any good luck here. Basically, you're just going to line up the jump, run, jump onto the pillar, where you need to aim, depends on your strength level, and then of course you can sit here and shoot anyone, or you can jump onto the caterpillar. I prefer to jump on the caterpillar. Now then, that's all I got for today, so if you have any other spots that you don't want, let me know, and if you get any kills in any of these spots, definitely upload it and tag me in it. I would love to see it. But that's all I got for today. Until next time, have a good one and take care.
Oh my god, he's extracting.